just going to do a little intro here for this little vlog that I'm starting. I am starting a little week-long vlog for the Cornival. Yeah, the Cornival, hosted by Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers for her Patreon. So it is a carnival, circus, theme park, clown, you name it, themed event. And this is the second year for the Cornival. I'm stoked. I'm excited. And excited for what I got planned. I did talk a little bit about my TBR already for it, so I won't necessarily go into that too much, but let me just say that I've already started and finished something. So we'll talk about that. And that is Carni by our very own R. St. Clair, Regina over at Regina's Haunted Library. And Carni, well, I had a lot of fun with this. And I really enjoyed it. It has, I don't know how to, it's part sort of ghost tale, part kind of urban legend, part kind of old, kind of demon, I don't know. It's got a lot going on here, but so the story opens up in like the 1920s, and there's this island off that has this little kind of amusement park kind of carnival setting on it with rides and games and all that kind of good stuff. And the kid that we open up with is I think he's about maybe 16ish or so, and he's working there because his dad is like the owner of the place, and so he's working there, and he's not treated very well at all. His dad's really mean to him and beats him, and even other people that work there, and the patrons there, are unkind to him until he just has enough and he loses it one night and burns the whole place down, essentially. And but possibly it's because of Carni. Dun dun dun. Now Carni is the sort of mascot for this carnival, and he's a clown. He's a clown. Yep. So we pick up some years later as this theme park, this amusement park, where it has been long abandoned, of course, but there's still remnants of it out there on the island. And so, of course, what do teenagers and young people of the area do? They flock to the area, of course, and it's almost this kind of almost a cultish situation, as they are have this sort of following of Carni, right? And then our main character is this sort of this man who is gone back home, the old gone back home character, which I love because he's actually not a very good guy at all. He's a writer, and some things have been exposed about him lately, about him treating his wife less than stellar. Again, he's not a good guy. So he goes back home, and he gets kind of wrapped up in this story and this one girl in particular who is trying to get the story of Carni out and trying to revive Carni, and people are dying all over the place. And I don't know how else to explain it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. It really crap hits the fan at the end. So a lot. I don't know. It was really, really good. Some really interesting characters. Even the guy who you don't like him. He's really not good. But it's interesting, to see him kind of evolve as this story goes along. Yeah, really great start for me to the Cornival. Excuse me. All right, and then I did start this one, the Bloody Red Nose, 15 Fears of a Clown. Read the first couple of stories. I probably read a couple stories a day. The first two were pretty great, especially this one. Killing Kippers by Eleanor Cawood Jones. It was kind of funny. It was a kind of funny one, but enjoying those stories. I read a couple more today. Today's Monday. It is a Labor Day, so I've got the day off. So got some things on my plan to do, but I did just start this too. Totentanz by Sarrantonio. I made it just a couple of chapters in last night, and as you can see, we got a nice little carnival setting here. Come to the carnival, enjoy the dance of death. So again, just a couple of chapters in, but I've met Reggie, who I think is going to be our main character. He's like a 13-year-old kid, and it's very interesting so far, because what we learn about Reggie is he has had this like near-death experience, and so he has these dreams about that experience that keep recurring for him. So I don't know if that comes into play at all. His like he's dying and basically being brought back to life kind of thing, and what he saw kind of on the other side. I don't know if that comes into play in here, but so far I'm definitely interested in just a couple of chapters. So I'm gonna hopefully get a good chunk of this done today, because I know it's kind of a rainy day. I think well, the sun might be breaking out a little bit, but I don't know that we'll get to do what we had planned to do today. We'll see how the day goes, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. So these two, what are we picking into today? And yeah, so that's the start of my carnival. Having fun so far. I did watch an episode of Supernatural last night called Everybody Fears a Clown, or Everybody's Scared of a Clown, something like that. And it's in season 2, so early days of Supernatural. It was fun going back to see Sam and Dean, how they look back then. They look so young. And yeah, creepy clown. Has a totally creepy clown in here. Very much creepy clown. Sat at a little like carnival, yeah. Super creepy. It's a good episode though. All right, that's it. I will check you in the next one.
Look, Mom, another clown.
What are you trying to do? Scare your father?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't open the door. Crazy person. No. Jeez. Ain't no way.
All the employees were tearing down shop. Alibis all around. Plus the girl said she saw a clown vanish into thin air. Counts for saying trauma, of course.
I know what you're thinking, Sam. Why did it have to be clowns?
Do me a break.
You didn't think I remember, did you? I mean, come on, you still bust out crying whenever you see Ronald McDonald on the television.
At least I'm not afraid of flying.
Planes crash.
And apparently clowns kill.
Hey. What is it?
I saw a clown.
Don't be afraid of clowns. They're nice. They're your friends. Okay?
That's what they want you to think. Y'all, one thing about me is I do not mess with no clowns. No, sir.
What is it?
You were right. He is my friend.
Hell no. So I just want to do a little check-in because I'm reading Totentanz. I am up to page 100. And up to chapter 9. So I'm through chapter 8 anyway. This is really great. And I am really enjoying it. And yeah, so the gist is it takes place in this small town. And it's got a bit of a history here. So we have a past storyline that takes place like right after the Civil War, and this man, this soldier comes home from the war to find like his father has been murdered and his brother had died also in the war, so he's like the only person left. And he, like I said, he's coming home because he's done, but there's nothing for him there, and so he gets he's trying to find out who killed his father, and yada yada yada. Stuff happens, right? And so something happens to him, or the townsfolk at the time, they like hang him and everything, and he's dead. But when they go to bury him, his body is gone. So as we sort of fast forward to the future, the present timeline, there is this, grave that's there of a soldier, but there's nothing inside. So there's all this sort of mystery surrounding this grave, right? All right, and then the present storyline, we have this group of 3 kids who have got their own stuff going on, and meanwhile, a carnival comes to town. Is it perhaps linked to this person from the past? Maybe. Is it really freaking good and spooky? Yes. Oh my God, there is something evil attached to this carnival. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what's going on, because this is really, really, really good. So, yay. Okay, let's check in. Slightly weird angle. I got you up on a box of goldfish. Okay. I finished Totentanz just now by Sarrantonio, and pretty great. Pretty flippin' great, actually. And I'm super impressed with this. I don't want to say too much because I really feel like you should just read it if it's something that you're interested in. I got a weird angle here, sorry. Okay, what else? Okay, without saying too much, I think I mentioned, this carnival comes to town, this small little town, and perhaps it is run by death. Dun, dun, dun. See the effects of revenge, anger, hatred can have like really permeate someone to want them to do bad things. A lot of talking here just about death in general, death, the afterlife, particularly with our kid Reggie, who's like kind of the main character here, who had a near-death experience. And so he kind of has this fascination towards death in here. I don't know, there's like this kind of a showdown at the end. I mean, I don't know, it's just, there's a few other characters that are talked about in here as in relation to this character Ash, who is the owner of this carnival, the sort of proprietor of the carnival, he's the bad guy. I mean, come on, that was right. So how, other characters have met him throughout their lives, and I'll just say it goes from there. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed this. One of my favorite things in here was this little section here. We're from the perspective of this character named Frances, and this is how she describes Ash. She could breathe, but still she choked. His face, his non-face, was like a balloon being lowered by an invisible hand. There was a mouth, but no mouth. The maw of a fish turned inside out. The eyes were there, except when she tried to look directly into them. His flesh was too white. The red line around his mouth was not red, but merely the absence of every other color save red. He was solid, and yet he was not there. I thought, what an amazing description, right? So really excellent writing, excellent descriptions in here, great characters. I'm telling you, this is really good. Very unexpected. Not like some crazy, just silly carnival book. There's a lot going on in here. It is quite deep. I think if you want to go into it deep, you can. Man, I'm impressed. This is excellent. Really, really great. I'm excited because I got a few other Sarrantonio books on my shelf, so now I am super pumped to read these. So what's super interesting too is that Bruegel's, what's it called? The Triumph of Death, that painting, I'll put it here, was talked about a lot in this book. Our main character, what's his name? Reggie has kind of a fascination with this particular painting and the things it portrays inside of it. And there's a lot of like skeletons doing like hanging people and killing people and all kinds of stuff in this painting. And yeah, it is, it's actually kind of integral part to the story, which I thought was super interesting. So so it kind of fits into the Framed in September event, where the art event that's going on this month. Anyway, I just, yeah, very impressed, super duper impressed with that. Okay, I did also read The Life That She Was Given by Ellen Marie Wiseman. Is that the name? I'll put the cover here, of course. This was really good too. I did listen to this one on audio. This is a story. It's really kind of a family drama story. You know, slightly historical fiction. You know, parts to set in the past, of course, and then family secrets. I love a story with like juicy family secrets. This definitely has it. And we do have a couple of different timelines going on in here, and one of which being, was it the 20s or 30s? I want to say maybe it was 20, because I think it was kind of Depression era. And we have this sort of married couple. They have a daughter, and they're in this real like big fancy estate. And but even there, you know, feeling effects, of course, of what's going on. And they have this daughter who they keep locked in the attic. Flowers in the attic vibes, right? But they keep her locked in the attic, and because we find out she's different. She's very different. She's not normal, right? And the mom is a total bitch. Just, I mean, so mean to her. So mean to her. To the point where she sells it to the circus. Okay, so and what we find out actually is Lily, who is the little girl, and she was like 8 or 9. It was like she was anyway. She has albinism, which, I mean, anyway, but they just thought it was the worst thing ever. So anyway, and so we follow Lily as she's at the circus, and she becomes, you know, a circus act, and she goes through different kind of circus acts as she's with the circus for years and years and years. And then we have, like I said, a more, you know, forward storyline, which I think takes place in, maybe it was the 50s or so. And Lily's parents have both passed away, and the house, all the big estate, the horse farm, all this stuff, it's like they make lots of money, has been willed to what we find out is a sister of Lily. So it seems that, you know, the parents had another daughter, you know, later on in life. And so yeah, it goes from there. And yeah, secrets and awful things happen at the circus sometimes. I mean, Lily, yeah, she goes through some shit in the circus. Honestly, it's a really sad book. It really is quite sad. But it was really good too. So I don't know. I would recommend it if you like I said, a good family drama. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. So, and if you like just, you know, stories set at a circus, of course. I mean, it was good. All the circus, you know, circus vibes, of course. Yeah, it was good. I really liked it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna get some little bit of dinner, and I have some salmon to cook. All right. All right, it's Friday, so let's do an update. My kiddo's in the background. You're gonna hear them. It's my life. Okay, so I think the last thing I chatted about was Totentanz by Alice Sarrantonio. Loved it. It was great. Okay. Next up, I read several things since then, so let's get going into that. One of which being Grackles on the Feeder by Gage, Greenwood. I feel like I've read something by this guy before, but I don't know. Anyway, this is a short story. I had it on my Kindle. I think I got it in one of those, like, Stuff Your Kindle horror days. I feel like that's where I picked this up. Be a short story. Quite effective. Very dark. It follows these two well, the main character is a girl. I'd say they're probably middle schoolish age. And she, you know, it's friends with this other girl. And I guess it seems to be there's this maybe kind of abandoned Ferris wheel, or, you know, something that's nearby that they go kind of hang out on, you know. So they're going to the Ferris wheel at the beginning of the story, and they see this injured bird. It's a grackle. And we'll just say the story goes from there as things get violent and dark. And yes, girlhood friendships, love, power dynamics. Yeah, gets a little bit dark. Content warning for animal cruelty, bullying, physical violence with that said bullying, and also sexual assault with said bullying between children. Quite dark, quite effective. I thought that was pretty good. I read a couple of smutty stories because I am who I am. When there's a theme, I'm going to look for themed smut. So I read some clown smut. First of which being Dickie the Naughty Killer Clown by Samantha Sparx. It was okay. Not the best clown smut I read. Not the best. Okay. But I don't know. It was fine. 2 stars. Much more fun was A Party of Clowns by Veritie Strange. 2 words, clown orgy, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. Absolutely just filthy. So but it was fun. And then I read a SpongeBob SquarePants book, because that's what you read after reading clown smut, is clowning around. Got this from my library on my Kindle app, on the Libby app, excuse me. It was pretty fun if you like SpongeBob. So SpongeBob, you know, because he works at the burger place, so, you know, right at the beginning of the book, he gets a complaint from a customer, and he's just like, his life is over because he's like the best, employee, and so he leaves the burger place. He's like, oh no, I'm terrible, and then of course he gets picked up by this caravan of clowns, and he joins the circus and tries to find his place within the circus, which is a clown, of course, because he's SpongeBob, and so he does a little bit of an act, and then the what's his name? Mr. Krusty, the guy who runs the burger place, right? Is that his name? Comes and finds him and says, I gotta have you back. You're my best employee. We need you back. So he goes back and works for the burger place again. It's an early, easy chapter book, for kids. So it was fun. Again, if you like SpongeBob. I listened to the audiobook for Bacchanal by Virginia G. Henry. I love this cover. It's so good. And overall, I did really enjoy this one. This is a historical setting, bit of a fantastical, bit of a, sort of a fantasy type story with a traveling carnival. I mean, what else can you want? So our main character is someone who has magical sort of powers. She has this connection with animals, and but she's doesn't quite know how to use her powers yet. So a lot of times animals will, they'll end up dying when she's trying to like help them, or things like that. So she's got some burgeoning skills, but she's been basically abandoned by her family in like Baton Rouge, and so she's working as a house cleaner for this mean lady. She's a black girl, and this lady's not very nice to her. I think this was early, was it 1930? I don't remember the time period, but anyway, 30s or 40s maybe. I can't remember now, but anyway. And so, this carnival, kind of comes to town, and so she's like, I'm going to join the carnival, get out of here, because she still wants to look for a family and, stuff like that. And so she ends up with the carnival, and when she's brought to the carnival by the man who is the proprietor of the carnival, Clay is his name. There's this one sort of, what do you call it? Trailer, I guess, but it's a red one, and no one's supposed to go in it. You're supposed to just leave it alone and not ever think about it, which of course means our main character obsesses over it a little bit. Because what lurks within is dark and has the powers of themselves, possibly related to a demon and the dark side, the other side, and uses the carnival to sort of feed her soul. And so there's a fun little cast of characters, including, like a fortune teller, a strong man. We got the guy, what do you call him? The guy like puts nails in his, human pincushions. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And then this, of course, our main character starts doing an animal act because she's, figuring out her, like I said, her sort of, her magic that she has. And there's a sort of showdown at the end between good and evil, you know, things like that. There's a lot more that goes on in the story, but overall, the setting was really good, and the writing about the setting and the characters I thought was done really well. Yeah, it was overall. I did really enjoy this, and would definitely recommend it if you kind of like historical settings that kind of deal with magic. It's always a bit of darkness as well. And yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. And then most recently, I finished The Adventures of Mr. Maximillian Bacchus and His Traveling Circus by Clive Barker. You all done, Pumpkin? All right. You gonna go upstairs? Okay. Not a typical Clive Barker book. I would not call this horror at all, but it was quite delightful, very whimsical, fantastical, a bit silly, you know, and we're following, you know, Mr. Bacchus and his traveling traveling circus. At the circus, there's like a crocodile, there's a tightrope walker, there's a strong man also, there's an orangutan they pick up along the way. Yeah, humble jumble cast of characters. So their adventures is told through basically kind of 4 kind of short stories. They're making their way to Xanadu so they can perform for the Concable. I think that's how you pronounce that. And sort of the little misadventures that they get in along the way. They're on their way to Xanadu. And yeah, it's just like I said, very whimsical and fun. And I don't know, quite delightful. I got this off the Libby app. Yeah, it was good. There's some illustrations in there as well. Just a lot of fun. It was really fun. So yeah, I've been nailing it. I am still making my way through the Bloody Red Nose, excuse me. I got a little behind. I was reading 2 stories a day, and then I'm gonna actually jump into that now. We'll have a little bit of time. I want to finish this before the readathon ends. So I think they're officially ends on the 7th, but I think I'm going to go through the 8th. I'm going to go through the 7th so I can start fresh with a new week. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, we're on the weekend now, so it's all gravy from here. Did watch Munchies with Weird Movie Club from Andrew, it came from the Page's Patreon. What a silly movie that was. That's it.
That was the most sexual Pikachu. Never heard Pikachu. What?
Hi. I think I'm gonna wrap up this little vlog. I think I'm kind of done for the week. Yeah, today's Saturday, so it's the 7th of September, which means the week is over for me. I'm ready to move on to the next week's theme for reading for me personally. Today, like I said, it's Saturday. We spent a little time at the pool today, trying to soak up those last, few crumbs of summer while the pool is still open and it's still, somewhat warm here in North Carolina anyway. So let's wrap up what I read. I read a few more handfuls of things. Like Clown Cemetary by L.A. Drake. This is part of the Scare Town series, which looks like, looks like there are like 10 or a dozen or so books in this series, and I hadn't read any of them before, but I saw this one had a clown theme, and so you can get on Kindle Unlimited. I said, let me try it out. And honestly, okay, this was pretty good. I will say I had a lot of fun with this. Surprisingly pretty spooky and scary, a little bit creepy. So we've got these 3 kids. I don't know if this is the same 3 kids that are like in all of the books or not. Again, like I said, this is the first one I've read. It's not the first in the series. So am I missing something? I don't know. But anyway, and they're out riding bikes because that's what kids do. And they stumble upon this like alley, which takes them through this little like overgrown kind of area. And they end up in this like cemetery that's like overgrown, and like there's holes, and I don't know, it looks a bit run down. And they realize that they've come across the sign that says it's a clown cemetery, and they do a bit of research, and that in this town, some years in the past, a circus had come to town, and it was their you know, inaugural show. They had never, you know, got to perform any of their acts or anything. And then so they were into town, like I said, for the show, and then the circus tents burnt down and everybody died. So all those people that are in the circus are buried in this cemetery, and perhaps they've got some unfinished business. So things are coming out from the graves, right? And so, but yeah, the kids have got to figure out what's going on. It was pretty good. Like I said, pretty spooky for a middle grade, I thought. Especially if you don't like clowns. It was fun. I read a couple more of some short, smutty clown stories. The first of which, Clowning Around by Jack Indabox. Clever name. Very clever. Very clever. I don't know, woman wants to go have sex with a clown at a carnival. I don't know, whatever. She has a crush on. It was fine. And then The Circus by Cecilia Porter. This one is sort of an exhibitionist type of story where these people go to basically like a sex club, and it's sort of themed like a circus. That's the gist of it. It was a smutty good time. And then I did finally finish Bloody Red Nose, 15 Fears of a Clown, edited by Dave Higgins. I finished this at the pool today. I just had a handful, maybe about 4 more stories to read to finish it on out. And yeah, I overall really did enjoy these. I just really, again, love the theme of these books. I've read, one last year for the Carnival, where it takes a look at what clowns are scared of, right? And instead of everyone being scared of clowns themselves. So again, a different, kind of themed, different, types of stories, different types of clowns. Yeah, they were, like an anthology, some hit you better than some of the others, but overall pretty solid collection. And I like these. I like these books a lot. And this cover, pretty gnarly. So yeah, I'm really excited to have read now both of these collections. Yeah. So I would recommend these if you like just fun, if you want just some fun, clown stories. Yeah, there was one, I don't know if I had like a favorite. One that I liked was this clown is hired to do a birthday party, and the woman who's hired him is like wanting to kill everybody at the birthday party and blame it on the clown. Yeah, that one was pretty fun. That one was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it. Really good way to, do a carnival. So yeah, I had a fantastic week. I want to thank Kelsey for hosting the carnival again. Highly recommend checking out her channel. I'm a yearly follower, but just in case, again, this is a Patreon only event, but she does have some fun things planned throughout the year for public consumption, including Halloween-a-thon, which is going to be coming up very soon, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I had a pretty great week. I really enjoyed Totentanz by Sarrantonio, Carni by R. Sinclair. That was great. The Life She Was Given by Ellen Marie Wiseman. That ended up being really great. The Grackles on the Feeder, the very dark short horror story. A couple more smutty stories. The Clive Barker book, The Adventures of Mr. Maximillian Bacchus and His Traveling Circus. That was really whimsical fun. And then, of course, Bacchanal by Virginia G. Henry, the sort of historical kind of fantasies kind of story that was good. So I had a nice good mix of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know, did you take part in Carnival? Do you have any clown carnival books that you can recommend to me? Because I'm still wanting more, so I gotta get my list going back up for next year for the next carnival. Yeah, so that's it. I will see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.